For over 2 years, Hollywood searched the entire world for one person. Not just an actor, not just a dancer, but someone who could become Michael Jackson. And that search became almost impossible. Because Michael Jackson wasn't just famous. He was untouchable. The voice, the movement, the mystery. You can imitate Michael Jackson, but becoming believable as Michael Jackson? That's something completely different. Studios spent years searching. Los Angeles, London, Tokyo, New York, hundreds of auditions, thousands of video submissions, professional dancers, Broadway performers, celebrity impersonators. And still, something was missing. Because the problem wasn't dance moves. The problem was essence. No one could capture that feeling Michael had. That strange energy. That emotional presence. The thing that made millions stare at him without understanding why. Then suddenly, everything changed. Not in Hollywood. Not at an audition. But inside the Jackson family itself. Because the answer had been there the entire time. Jaafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew. And according to the people making the film, the moment Jaffer entered the room, the search was basically over. But here's the part nobody talks about. This wasn't just about resemblance. This wasn't just about DNA. There was one specific moment that made producers realize Jaffer wasn't simply a good option. He was the only option. And once you understand what happened in that room, you'll realize this casting decision may have never been a decision at all. It may have been destiny. Back in 2021, producer Graham King officially launched the Michael Jackson biopic project. This wasn't a small movie. This was one of the riskiest casting decisions in modern Hollywood. Because if audiences didn't believe the actor, the entire film would collapse instantly. And everyone involved understood the pressure. Michael Jackson had fans in every country, every generation, every culture. People didn't just know Michael Jackson. They felt emotionally connected to him. That changes everything. So the studio went massive. Worldwide auditions, professional casting teams, dance specialists, movement coaches, vocal experts. And for months, they searched endlessly. Some performers could dance perfectly. Others had the look. Some could imitate the voice almost flawlessly. But according to the filmmakers, none of them felt real. Because Michael Jackson wasn't just choreography. He was emotion, presence, energy, and that's where every actor failed. Then someone mentioned Jaafar Jackson. At first, it sounded risky, too obvious, too controversial. People would accuse the film of nepotism immediately, but they still agreed to meet him. And according to multiple people close to the production, the atmosphere changed instantly when Jaffer began performing. Not because he was trying to imitate Michael, but because it didn't feel like imitation at all. The movements looked natural. The posture, the timing, the hand gestures, it felt instinctive, almost inherited. And maybe that's because because Jaffer didn't learn Michael Jackson from YouTube clips. He grew up inside the Jackson family. He grew up around the energy that created Michael Jackson in the first place. He visited Neverland Ranch, spent time with Michael privately, watched him when cameras weren't around. And that changes everything. Because an actor can study performances, but they can't study memory. They can't study emotional atmosphere. They can't recreate family energy. And suddenly, the producers realized they were no longer watching someone play Michael Jackson. They were watching someone connected to him on a level acting schools cannot teach. That became the turning point. The moment the search quietly ended. But here's where the story becomes more complicated. Because carrying the Jackson name is not just privilege. It's pressure. Massive pressure. Especially after Michael's death in 2009. Jaffer grew up watching the world obsess over his uncle endlessly. The media, the rumors, the controversies, the mythology. And when you grow up around that level of fame, you understand something outsiders never fully can. Michael Jackson wasn't just a superstar. He was emotionally isolated by fame itself. That loneliness, that pressure, became part of the Jackson legacy. And according to the filmmakers, Jaffer understood that emotional weight naturally. This is the part most people still underestimate. An outside actor could learn the moonwalk. learn the voice, learn the interviews, but they could never carry Michael's DNA, never carry family memories, never carry the emotional understanding of growing up inside that world. That's why director Antoine Fuqua reportedly described Jaffer's connection to Michael as spiritual, not theatrical, spiritual. And once the filmmakers saw that, the search became meaningless because they realized they weren't choosing between actors anymore. They were choosing between authenticity and imitation. But despite all this, the production still hesitated. Because if Jaffer failed, the backlash would be enormous. People would blame the family, the studio, the entire film. So they continued auditions for months afterward. Not because they believed someone better existed, but because they needed proof. Proof that destiny alone wasn't enough. And after 2 years of searching, they arrived back at the same conclusion every time. No one else could truly become Michael Jackson. Here's the truth. This casting wasn't powerful because Jaffer looks like Michael Jackson. It was powerful because he understands what Michael Jackson felt like privately. And that's something audiences notice immediately, even when they can't explain why. If you're watching this, remember this. First, some roles are bigger than acting. Second, authenticity always feels different from imitation. Third, legacy can become both a gift and a burden. And finally, sometimes the answer you spend years searching for was already there from the beginning. So ask yourself this. Could anyone on earth truly play Michael Jackson without carrying part of Michael Jackson inside them already? Backend index pointing down, what do you think?